For today's video, I wanted to dig into the makeup archives again, and today we're going to be looking at makeup releases from 2012. I will say, 2012 was the first year I really got into like makeup on YouTube. 2011 was kind of when I was dipping my toes into it, but 2012, oh boy, some of my most iconic and dorky ass looks are from my YouTube channel from 2012. If you haven't seen me do this before, I think this is the fourth time. Yeah, I did 2010 high-end and then drugstore holiday ones and then 2011. So this is the fourth edition. So I will post a link to a playlist of these videos down in the description. And so I took some screenshots and I went to Temptalia and Pop Sugar and Google and found a bunch of things that hit the universe in 2012. And today we're going to be looking at them from the perspective of 2021 to see A, if they're still around, B, would people still buy them, or C, what the fuck was this? You know, because there's some of these in there where I'm like, why? 2012 was a big year. Like, looking at the releases, I was like, yeah, 2012 was a moment, okay? So I will say I started actually watching makeup YouTube and kind of making makeup content on YouTube pretty regularly in 2012, so I love looking back at this time particularly. It's just so much fun. Okay, let's go. Oh my gosh. Urban Decay Naked 2 palette hit the world. Naked 1, I believe, was released in 2011, so I think it was just a year later when Naked 2 came out. And Naked 2 really was that kind of cool, neutral toned nudes. This was before Urban Decay had completely buried Naked into the ground several times over. This is back when like Naked was still like, ooh, cool, fun. Like when Urban Decay was still making things that were interesting. And looking at it now, like it's still a pretty like good basic neutrals, but that's exactly what it is. It's basic. And so I feel like if Urban Decay came out with this now, like if they relaunched Naked 2, do they still have Naked 2? I know they like discontinued Naked 1, but I don't remember if they did the same thing with Naked 2. Realistically, I think Naked 1 is better personally, but you know, to each their own. What a time. Remember when Urban Decay used to put like dual-ended brushes in their eyeshadow palettes? They did that before ABH did, and the brushes were just as bad. I did not like those brushes. Okay, and on a similar vein, as well as Naked 2, Urban Decay released the Naked Basics palette, which was basically the smaller all-matte version of the Naked palette. And looking at this is an abomination. This is abysmal. This is terrible. There was like 3 very light nudes, and then like a lighter taupe, and then like a mid-tone brown, and then like, is that even a black? I don't even know if that's a black or like a dark brown. Naked Basics 1 was a travesty. People were kind of into the idea of making like a tinier travel size version of the Naked palette, but this was not it. I remember when it came out and I was like, okay, like why is everybody losing their mind over this tiny all matte boring, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. But a palette that I was very much obsessed with was the Stila In the Know palette. And I think it was Stila In the Know, In the Light, and In the Night, In the Forest. I don't remember. There were 3 all matte neutral palettes from Stila, and they were all very different. In the Light was definitely closer to something like Naked 2, where there were some like charcoals in there, and it was all very nude, but cool nudes. And this was actually a much better gradient than Naked 2 or Naked Basics. And Stila, their matte formula at the time was very good. Like I will testament to Stila In the Know being one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes. And I only ever got rid of it because I lost it, put it in the glove box of my car, forgot it was in there for 2 years. And then when I finally found it and I was like, this is probably gross, I should probably get rid of it. And I was sad about it because this was actually like a precursor to the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This was like, I think the first time I really got excited about like an orangey brown, like a bricky brown. I was like, ooh. I mean, really the only thing that Stila has come out with in the last several years that really did well was the Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadows. Everything else Stila has put out, I don't remember. But this was a time though. This was a good time. So this was one, when I was scrolling through Temptalia's links, I completely forgot that this brand ever existed. And this was an eyeshadow palette from Tarina Tarantino. And when I saw that name, I was whooshed back to 2012 because this brand was in Sephora and I completely forgot about them. I'm sure that many of you have never heard of the brand. I don't even know whatever happened with them. But this is a 6-pan eyeshadow that looked very Claire's. Emerald Pretty. What is that even? Oh, Emerald City. Got it. And I was like, what is Emerald Pretty supposed to mean? Emerald City. That's not a very good pun. There's not even an emerald in this? What? Also, for some reason, having eyeshadow palettes that are this like horizontal ovular shape really reads either very old-fashioned or very cheap to me. I don't know what it is about the design. Like if it's gonna be an oval, have it be vertical, but for some reason the horizontal ovals just look weird in an eyeshadow palette. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. If that's just like a pet peeve of mine. The packaging, I mean, there's probably a reason why Tarina Tarantino doesn't exist anymore in Sephora because I don't remember anything else that they put on. I remember Purse Buzz talking about Tarina Tarantino, and that's it. I don't think I heard anybody else talk about them besides Temptalia on her blog. So next. Okay, now let's get into some MAC releases because there were so many, yet again. Besides this being like the heyday for nude makeup, this was the time for MAC collections. MAC collections never stopped. MAC collections were what ColourPop wishes they could be. Because MAC, while they didn't release things as often as ColourPop, when they did release collections, they were massive. This one wasn't a massive one, but this was a special edition, limited edition lipstick and nail polish duo. We're going to talk a little bit about nail polish this episode for Black Friday that they called Gray Friday. So it's a matching gunmetal lipstick and nail polish. What? Okay, I get like matching your lipstick to your nail polish, but not with like a gunmetal gray. I don't know. I mean, obviously MAC has put out like several of these like wacky colors that are just for collectors. Like MAC is also known for that. So like that's what this is, but I don't know. It also looks like shimmery. It's a fun nail polish color. I'll give them that. Speaking of nail polishes, okay, so there were a couple of nail polish trends at this time that I don't ever know why we even got into them. Nails Inc. specifically was known for their magnetic polish, which was a nail polish that was always shimmery, that had some magnetic particles in it, and then the lid of the actual nail polish had a design in it, so then while the nail polish was drying, you could like put the lid over the top of your nail, and it dried in a shape. It like got the sparkly particles in like a specific shape. I don't know. It was so weird. Like nail polish, people were going wild with weird nail polish. It looked so bad. Like it looked bad. Ugh. So I found this list on Pop Sugar. It was like love it or leave it of trends of 2012. And one of the leave it's was
metallic nails have a place, but when paired with magnets and geometric designs, they can tend to skew a bit more cheesy than classy.
Yep. And then also, I would argue as a worse trend,
Crackle Nails.
Crackle Nails was the weirdest product I can remember in my most recent being 8 years history. It was you put down a regular nail polish, and then this Crackle nail polish was like a matte black usually, or a matte white, or just a matte color that was like very matte, and something in the actual ingredients made it kind of separate on your nails and look kind of like distressed and crackle, but it just looked so fucking weird. And like looking back, I'm like, why did we think our nails looked cool? It doesn't even sound nice for nail polish. Oh, my Crackle nails. Like, it just sounds unappealing. And it was. This was another travesty. It was bad. Ooh, I had this. This was the OCC Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics that doesn't exist anymore because they went bankrupt after not being able to keep up with the Sephora demand. I don't know the whole story. I had this lipstick, this lip tar, for a really, really long time, and OCC did a collab with Nylon magazine for a color that was called Nylon, and it was the hottest pink lipstick, but it was a lip tar, so it was like the most cumbersome thing to apply because it was like the thickest, it was a tar, like it was a lip tar, and you had to apply it with a teeny tiny brush. So they had to use the smallest amount. It was so hot pink, it made Candy Yum Yum look
meh.
And I had this for a really long time. I had like 2 OCC lip tars. I had this one, and then I had a gray one, I think. I don't know why I ever bought these. They were trendy. They were very much trendy at the time. People were like, OCC lip tars, you get so much use out of them. It's like, yeah, but you're never going to use it up. You'd have to live to a 200 to get all of the use out of these before they separate and get disgusting. Why?
Why did I own that?
Ooh, here's some fun, weird collab. So we talked about the balm, I think last time. I don't remember. It was like the Meat Matte Nudes thing. The balm has the dorkiest releases. If I thought Benefit was dorky, the balm is just like, hold my rosé. The balm did a Balm Jovi palette for holiday of 2012. It had like a kind of tattoo, old-fashioned kind of tattoo design on the front. So it's not the worst idea. And then on the inside, you opened it up and it was like a heart mirror and it said rock and roll underneath it. But then the colors were like matte nudes. And like cool nudes. There was like a green and like, which was like desaturated, and like a kind of desaturated maroon. So it's like, what does Bon Jovi have to do? I don't know. The shades were called Metallica, so Metallica, Adagio, Blink 1982, Iron Maid Dash In, Allegro, The Stroke, Led Zeppelin spelled Lead, so like lead. Why would you want to have lead? Moderato, so there was like actual like music terms. Moderato, REM, literally just a shade called REM. Okay. Alice Copper, Presto, Third Eye Blinded. That's really funny though. Disco, Solid Gold, it's a highlighter. And then Pop Don't You Want Me as a blush. Why? Why was this a palette? The balm. Oh my god, that was so I was like, Third Eye Blinded? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's so funny. Oh my god. There was actually a lot of music-themed collections this year, which is kind of cool. There was technically it was a Andy Warhol collection with NARS, but they had a lot of photos of Debbie Harry, Edie Sedgwick, and the branding was actually very, very cool. The outside was gorgeous, and I feel like if NARS did something like this again, people would really gravitate towards it, because NARS really was known for doing stuff like this for a long time, and then they just really fell down just only doing like orgasm themed things. And it's like, NARS, you have the capabilities and the creativity. Why don't you do this again? The products were a little weird. Like there was one kind of eye and cheek palette that was cool and simple. But then they had some like one of those palettes where it's like not separated, but then there's like different color splotches in there. So if you like swirl it around, it's all messed up and stuff. That was just for like collector's edition type things. Like nobody would actually use that realistically, which is kind of annoying because it's on the inside, not on the outside. So it's like, if you're going to make something that's a collector's edition, make the outside just as pretty as the inside. Like the actual like boxes that everything came in, beautiful, gorgeous, perfect. But the products themselves just said NARS and Andy Warhol. I'm like, okay. Back to MAC stuff. MAC did a Beth Ditto collaboration for summer of 2012 that was so cool. It was lipsticks, mascaras, a blush. It's an interesting blush because it's like a mauve-y backdrop. And then there's like some brownie tones, a blue, and then a yellow. So when you mix it all together and you swirl it together, it makes like a neutral toned blush. And I thought this was super innovative. They had some of the longwear lip creams that were in the different kind of tubes, so it wasn't just like a regular lipstick. And like the imaging, the brand imaging on here, it was eyeliner. Was it eyeliner or was eyeliner? Because Beth Ditto always did like the coolest graphic liner stuff. I thought this collection was so cool. And if MAC did something like this again, I would applaud them for it. Because this is hella cool. Ooh, Sugar Pill. Sugar Pill. This might have been after I bought Taco and Butter Cupcake. It might have been around that time. I used to own those eyeshadows, and then I gave them to Libby, and then she threw them away. But this was the first time I think they came out with a palette, like a pre-made, preconceived palette, and this was the Heartbreaker Quad. And when I tell you, I wanted this so bad. I wanted to buy this. I was like, this is perfect. I wanted to get a bunch of Sugar Pill eyeshadows, and this is 4, and they're like, it's a fun color story. Honestly, I feel like, I mean, Sugar Pill's definitely been doing like more things lately, but I like the idea of taking colors that they already have and just doing quads with them. Because I feel like a lot of people are kind of intimidated by buying Sugar Pill eyeshadows because they're so large and they're pretty expensive for what it is, but it is so large, so like it makes sense. They don't necessarily want to buy like a full like 10 pan or like even a 6 pan. So like I feel like Sugar Pill should do more of these just straight up little quads with the colors that they already have, and I think people would like it. I really liked the little fun size palette. I want them to do more things like that, and this was kind of like that. This is something that wasn't technically a product. It's inspired by a product, but I had to talk about it because as I was scrolling through Temptalia, I literally went through all 25 pages of the archives from 2012, so you're welcome. Benefit came up with a Marvel comic book action hero, like an actual Marvel branded thing called Spy Gal, which was inspired by The Professional, which was what? A fucking comic book action hero inspired by a pore filling primer? How does that track? I had to mention that because that made me laugh so hard. I was like, what? They did what? They did, huh? It was so funny.
Next.
This is another thing that I actually owned. I owned 2 of them, and then I decluttered them and gave them to Libby, and she let them just like jostle around in her footwell in her car, not realizing that they were $32 lip stains. Why did I buy $32 lip stains? Don't ask me now. But these were the YSL Rouge Pure Couture Vernis à Lèvres glossy stains. There are stains that have a gloss to them. These were actually a very kind of cool formula that I hadn't ever seen before. It was like you put a lip gloss on, but the gloss itself kind of dries down into an almost like jelly type texture to where like when you put your lips together, they didn't stick, but it also didn't wear off. It was like a very innovative formula. Like I liked them when I had them, but I'm like, this is not worth $32. I feel like I haven't seen any other brand come up with something like this since then because it truly stayed glossy. Once the gloss kind of wore off eventually, it left a stain on your lips. I'm sure that K-Beauty definitely has something like this because they're like super fucking innovative with lip stains, but I haven't seen anything, at least in the US market, that was similar to this. And I think that if another brand came out with it, it would do pretty well because it's a gloss that stays glossy and it isn't sticky and then it leaves a stain. Like, what the hell? That's awesome.
Next.
Okay, let's dig into these MAC products because, oh my god, there were so many. MAC. There's so many. I already talked about the Beth Ditto collection, but they had the Style Seeker collection, and I think I have a haul for the Style Seeker collection, and I bought 1 product. It might be one of the first videos on this channel, and I called it like MAC Style Seeker haul, and it was like 4 minutes of me just being like, I bought this eyeshadow, here, clickbait, like, I'm here for a haul for you. I know I said I was never gonna do one of these, but I'm kind of looking for some cheap clicks around here. So, I have my MAC Style Seeker collection haul. Oh my god, I got some things. No, I didn't. I just got one. One thing. Red eyeshadow is a thing that I'm doing now. Because people wanted to know all about the new MAC collection, and I bought a product from it. And I had it for a really long time, actually. It was like a duo that had kind of a copper and then a darker red. I was getting into the red eyeshadows early on. Like, I was a trendsetter. Not really. I definitely embraced the red eyeshadow pretty early on, and this was one of those eyeshadows that I really, really enjoyed and I used for a long time. And it was actually good. We have the MAC Hey Sailor collection. This was one of their summer ones. Was Real Sexy for summer? Yeah, there were 2 full-on iconic MAC collections from 2012. Hey Sailor was like so fun. The packaging was so cute. The packaging was super, super cool. It had these like white and blue nautical stripes, and it was red lips, blue eyeshadow, just all kinds of fun stuff. I really did like the MAC collections, and I liked looking at like the promo images and like the photo shoots they did, because they really put in a lot of work on these photo shoots and all these collections. And now I don't feel like they put in as much work, but that's, I think also this has been since Estee Lauder bought them. Hey Sailor was real fun, but the real MVP of MAC 2012 was the Real Sexy collection. This collection was so fucking cool and coveted. Everybody was obsessed with this collection. They had Heroin, which is the iconic purple lipstick. I think this might have been the first time when they released this. And then Watch Me Simmer, which was a coral lipstick that I obsessed over, and it was the closest thing I could get to Party Parrot. This was the heyday of just me and bright fucking coral lipsticks. They also had Lightscapade in this collection too. I had that highlighter, and the whole theme was around like movies and like movie theaters. So it was like real, REEL, sexy. And I thought that was just so cute. And there was blushes and eyeshadows and nail polishes and lip gloss. I loved the kind of collections that MAC used to put out, and I miss them. I do. Okay, we have 2 more Urban Decay things, and then we're gonna be done. Urban Decay released the Smoked palette in 2012. And when I tell you I am still sad I don't have this, I'm still sad I don't have this. This was such a cool palette for the time, because it was all kind of dark, smoky shades, except for 2. They only had 2 kind of, they had like a highlighty shade and then like a kind of transition blending shade. And then everything was smoky. And I believe this was before the Naked Smoky. This was before Naked Smoky. This was one of their like smaller palettes that had the little zipper guys, and I loved those. Like, I really did. I thought they were very cool. They were concise. They were easy to take with you and just fun. $49 was pretty expensive, actually. This was a 10 eyeshadow palette for 49 bucks. Oh, but it did come with an eyeshadow primer and a pencil. That's still a lot. Urban Decay also came out with the Naked Skin Foundation, and this, I think, was a natural progression for Naked at the time, and it went on to be like a very, very popular product for them. It was very well received. People loved it. They did the Naked concealer, and it worked. And this is something that really worked for the Naked line. When they started doing other things besides eyeshadows and skin products, it just went off the rails. And I mean, I don't think I ever had this. I tried it. I got a sample of it once, and I believe I liked it. It just wasn't exactly the right shade for me because it was a little too yellow. This was like very well received. This was really when Urban Decay kind of established themselves as one of like the big guns. When it came to the beauty community, Urban Decay and MAC were top dogs. Yeah, that's it. I was like looking through, I was like, is there anything else I wanted to mention? No. So yeah, those are all the products that I wanted to talk about for today's makeup archives. Let me know if you remember any of these products, or maybe if there were products from that time that you really loved and that you remembered that I forgot to mention. Obviously, I didn't want to talk about literally every release because I really didn't care about like Dior and Chantecaille and all these other like super fucking expensive brands. Temptalia did talk a lot about those brands on her blog, but I never really gave them a second thought because I was like, this is $70 for a blush.
Literally no.
$27 for a blush was like my peak, and then $32 for a lipstick. I mean, I guess sometimes I splurged, sometimes I didn't. But give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it and you want me to keep doing these. They are one of my favorite video series to film now because it's just so fun going back and looking at makeup from like literally 9 years ago, because I feel like so much of the beauty community now who are kind of up and coming and getting bigger, they kind of joined the community in like 2015, 2016. And so this is like pre the boom of the beauty community when it was back like Purse Buzz, Bubs Beauty, Michelle Phan. Those were the heavy hitters of the beauty community at the time. It's fun looking at it. For today's song of the day, let's see. Today's song of the day is The Underdog by Spoon because Josh played it on the record player earlier when we were making dinner, and he just grabbed one out of the box and it's like, okay, let's put on Spoon. And I was like, he didn't know that The Underdog was a Spoon song. So yeah, Underdog from Ga 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 by Spoon is your song of the day. And Spoon is one of my favorite bands of all time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are new to my channel and would like to see more of my content, please subscribe. That would be very much appreciated. I'm in love with my room right now. I'm obsessed with it. Like, holy shit. I've been posting pictures all over socials because I'm just like so into my room right now. I'm getting a new chair tomorrow. I love it. So you can kind of see me in the background. That might, I mean, if I get I gotta get a taller plant or taller something to kind of like put in front of the mirror because I don't want to be too distracting because my computer is in the corner. Also, I need a longer cord so my computer will be down lower. It's still a work in progress. Check out all my social media in the links down below. I am getting so close to 10,000 followers on Instagram. I really want to get there so I can get the swipe up feature. So please go follow me there if you are interested in home decor and general narcissism. It's basically my entire Instagram feed lately has been like home decor and selfies. But, you know, I have a pretty mirror to do it with now. Ugh. Hope y'all are having a good day. Hope you're staying safe. I hope you are staying home. I hope you are staying masked up and getting vaccinated if you can. If you're eligible, please do. Please do it because it's very important, and encourage your loved ones and your friends to do the same because, oh my God, I can taste live music. I can taste it. We're so close. So please, if you are eligible, go get vaccinated. Hey everybody, so I filmed this video a little while back and I didn't get a chance to actually say anything on camera, so I wanted to put an addendum here because like I have been heartbroken and angry at the ongoing violent racist hate crimes towards Asian people, most recently the mass shooting in Atlanta, and the news and police as usual have failed these communities. And I wanted to include some links to places to donate and ways that you can help the victims' families, as well as general resources to help stop Asian hate crimes. Please stay informed and make sure to listen to the people in your life who have been targets for racism and hate crimes and do what you can to help. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you in my next video.